It's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You're mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Welcome to Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
I'm Tyler. And I'm Joseph.
And today we're going to be reviewing a Patreon pick from the Wheel of Destiny. Today we're reviewing Frankenhooker. Sounds like
In 1931, the world was horrified by the motion picture Frankenstein. In 1935, horror turned to terror with The Bride of Frankenstein. In 1990, the makers of Basket Case and Brain Damage bring you
Want a date?
Frankenhooker. Jeffrey Franken has a plan.
I just want to bring you back, Elizabeth.
He has the ingenuity.
We need female body parts.
He has everything he needs, except the raw materials.
Just hold still. Excellent. Oh my God. Bunyan!
Jeffrey's creation is alive.
Looking for some action?
It's alive.
He's sexy.
Want a date? You going out?
I'm on my way home, but thanks anyway.
And she's sutured to please.
Listen, I'm looking for a very tall, attractive woman. She's purple. She's got fresh scars on her.
She's in the bar.
Now a motion picture like no other. A tender story of love and romance.
Want a date?
A gripping tale of lust and revenge. Frankenhooker.
Incredible.
Some assembly may be required.
I love that.
Very good. Okay, yes, as the trailer would lead you to believe, Frankenhooker from 1990. This is rated R. It comes in just under 90 minutes, 1 hour and 25 minutes, directed by Frank Henenlotter. And the name didn't sound familiar to me last week when we talked about it and put it on, basically chose it from the wheel. Mm-hmm. But he did Brain Damage, that weird-ass movie that Adam Murphy had recommended to us.
Yes.
With that alien that attaches itself to the base of your spine and just pumps you full of feel-good juice. Oh, fucking weird movie that was. And this movie.
I want to get pumped full of feel-good juice.
Yeah, me too. So this is written by Robert Martin and Frank Henenlotter. Stars Jamie Lawrence, Joanne Ritchie, and Patty Mullen are the three main characters. And James Lawrence is Jeffrey Franken. Very on the nose. Yeah. And he's an out of work. I guess he's not out of work, an electrician. He works for the city, but he was a failed med school student, right?
Yeah. He said he failed med school 3 times. I can't even imagine the debt that's up to his neck right now.
Yeah, sure. That's probably why he's living at home. He's with his dear mother, who seems to be completely oblivious to his disgusting experiments.
I think she knows.
No, she knows there's something's happening.
She tolerates it.
She tolerates it, yeah.
And then the standout is Patty Mullen as Elizabeth, who is his ex-girlfriend whose life is taken from a freak lawnmower accident that everybody saw coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
And then she's piecemealed back together, a la The Bride of Frankenstein, to become Frankenhooker. So that's basically the long and short of it. This was chosen for us from listener Andrew Martin. He's a Patreon member. And Andrew's got he's always got some really interesting takes and really interesting movies, which is great. I love, he's got a really like eclectic old school sort of taste, very similar to Andrew Martin or not, to Adam Murphy. And he basically, he told me, for one, he's in an unusual relationship where we refer to films of Frankenhooker as the religion. This one has themes so good to win, best film as seen with Poor Things, but is in obscurity. My partner also has a great portrait of her on her butt. He says his relationship he says that them two, him and his girlfriend, they
Matching tattoos?
no, they don't have matching tattoos, but they refer to this sort of movie as the religion. Which is basically like
This is their
this
god?
is the shit.
Oh, okay.
This is 100% my shit.
Okay.
According to Andrew Martin.
So they hold it up.
Yeah, they hold it up in very high regard. Like ultra camp. I don't know how you want to call it, but it's Trauma. So if you know anything about Trauma, it's the Tromeo and Juliet. Is
that a person?
Toxic Avenger. No, it's like a production
Movement?
group. Yeah, a movement, a production group. And this is, I think, fairly falls right into the category of like peak Trauma, in my opinion.
Sure.
Anyways, this is all first watch for all of us. Tyler, why don't you give us your initial thoughts?
Yeah, so my initial thought after watching this film, I was blown away. I couldn't believe what I had just watched in a good way, not in a bad way. I thought this movie was so punk rock. Mm-hmm. It reminded me of Return of the Living Dead, The Reanimator, all of those horror movies that people of alternative cultures would really enjoy. And I would say I associate with those alternative cultures, and I loved it. I thought the concept was really funny. It's a wild ride. It's a wild ride.
That's right.
I don't think it's not bad though. As far as like an objective point of view, it's like a haunted house ride.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, it's a haunted house ride, and it's very fun, very I shouldn't say wholesome, but as for an adult, it's wholesome because there's no dark. Well, I guess it is dark.
He does dismember and kill multiple hookers and then sews them together to make a person who didn't consent to be born.
I was just about to say that.
Exactly those things.
I think maybe the attitude towards making this movie is why I chose the word wholesome, because it's not dark like The Witch or
maybe you're
something
thinking
like
of
that.
a word like something like pure. It's pure.
Oh, pure. That's it. Yeah.
Because it seems like they have a very pure vision of what this is, and they're 100% stuck to it.
Yeah, and like you said, peak Tromo. Yes.
Trauma.
Oh, trauma. Sorry.
The female version.
That I would definitely agree with that.
Cool.
I love the movie. Love the movie.
Good. Awesome. Good. Joseph, what were your initial thoughts for Frankenhooker?
My initial thoughts on Frankenhooker, and going into a movie named Frankenhooker, I was not expecting, I guess, a lot in terms of a quality movie.
Sure.
And I was expecting that it was just going to be bad. Like it was like not going to be
like a poor quality movie,
like
just in general.
Like it wasn't going to be a good bad movie.
Oh, I see.
But my worries were quickly resolved within the first 10 minutes of seeing a floating Cyclops brain. And
first 10 seconds.
And the automated lawnmower murder that kicks
was amazing.
That is the inciting incident and kicks everything off.
Yeah.
And after seeing that, I was pretty bought in to the rest of the movie, and I knew what I was in store for, and it was a fun time. It's schlocky camp for sure, to the max.
Yeah.
And the filmmakers definitely aware of that.
Yeah.
And I don't think they just try to exploit the audience with that idea. I think they execute the idea that even though they know they're making this kind of movie, they're not just like trying to go overboard with like, just because we're making this bad movie doesn't mean we can just get away with anything we want.
Yeah.
They're making it with intent. It's not like a modern day like Sharknado where it's a bad movie, so we could just get away with it.
It's bad on purpose. We're just going to make it shitty.
Yeah. It's like,
that's a great point.
This is a bad movie, or like it's a quote unquote bad movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
But it is made with the intention of being perceived as a bad movie until you actually watch it.
Sure.
It's like they're still trying to toe the line of this is bad, but it just hits that right spot of good bad, where it's entertaining. And I think this movie never really goes too far in that regard. And yeah, I wasn't expecting so much tits.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little jarring.
A lot of TNA.
And the magnifying glass of nipple.
Yeah, that was funny. The most magnified macro shot of nipple I've ever seen in a movie.
But yeah, it's definitely like a movie that I did enjoy, and it would be on a rotation for me for like October. I think one thing that I wish it did was bring Frankenhooker in sooner in the movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
As opposed to the last 30 minutes
of
the movie, where it's more, because when it switches to her, I'm more interested in her than the doctor, because the doctor's a fucking asshole.
Yeah. He's a tool.
Yeah.
He's a serial killer too.
And it, like, by the end of the movie, when you see like the very end of the movie and like what happens, I wish that was more of the storyline than what we got.
Yeah.
As opposed, like it turned into like a revenge type story a little bit. Like he got his comeuppance.
Yeah.
You know, I wish there was just more of that throughout the movie as opposed to just the last 30 minutes. But still, it was pretty entertaining.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're all in agreement. This is a super fucking fun movie that is bananas and completely out of pocket. Andrew Martin had also mentioned that he's a huge fan of Frank Henenlotter in general, the filmmaker. He says that all his other stuff is really good. He's now a historian and archivist. He's one of the people that's preserving these kind of insane sleaze fest, schlock fest movies like Basket Case.
Yeah.
Said there's another one that he made called Bad Biology.
Wait, Andrew is?
Frank Henenlotter.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, he has his own museum.
No, he's a fan of Frank Henenlotter. But Bad Biology is a movie that the same director made that is about a woman with 7 clitorises.
Oh.
And there's a detachable penis in that movie. God. Yeah. You really know what you're getting into once you watch maybe one of this man's movies, Henenlotter.
Sure. Yeah.
Knowing I didn't know who that person was going into this, so I went in essentially blind as well. And the second that you see the eyeball stuck in the center of the brain floating, and he's poking it and hitting it with a hammer like a mechanic. He's got like a big stick, and he's like, "How about now?" And then everyone's just like, "Oh, that's what's his name again? It's Jeffrey."
Yeah, Jeffrey.
He's, "Oh, that's just Jeffrey. He's doing his experiments again in the kitchen."
Yeah.
And they have a floating severed human brain with the eyeball in the middle that's somehow able to move.
Yeah, there's
in a fish tank.
But in the very beginning of the movie, everyone's very casual about Jeffrey and his profession because they're just like, Jeffrey stapled your stomach. You let him operate on you? Of course, we're gonna get married.
Yeah, yeah, I have to
And
trust
she
him.
didn't even look like she needed a stomach staple.
Yeah. So, anyways, that set the tone immediately, like right off the bat for the movie.
Sure.
And it really didn't hold up at all. Like it didn't stop. It didn't slow down from that at all. If anything, it got more insane. A couple of things that stuck out to me as really fun and really just over the top was that he gets the crack cocaine and somehow, even though he's an electrician, he's able to synthesize it and to make super crack.
Yeah, super crack.
I'm going to make super drugs, super crack. And
Even the girls know it's super drugs. They go, "Oh my god, it's super drugs!"
That was something super funny. Also, when he starts feeling a little tired or a little bit out of sorts or whatever, and he puts the drill into his brain,
gives himself a self-lobotomy.
Yeah, he like drills into the back of his brain, and he goes, "Jeff, just do the drill. Just do the drill. You'll feel better." And then he pulls the drill out and drills in his brain. And you're like, what the fuck is this movie?
Yeah.
So that vibe is like, I think it's really hard to capture that pure schlock, pure sleaze.
There has to be like a perfect combination of chemistry between like the production and actors and everyone.
I also think that the writing, like the dialogue, like the script was written really well.
I agree.
It's pretty funny.
I agree.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
And James Lawrence, I feel like he nailed that 100%, because if he was a different person, or if he was playing it maybe too big, like too boisterous, or too, I don't know, he didn't buy into it all the way, it would feel almost disingenuous. But he plays it very straight, and he has this very low tone where he's just going through life and talking about the things. It's just very matter of fact. Like, "Oh, we're gonna get you a body. Don't worry, it's gonna be fine. Hey, your hair looks great, Elizabeth." And I think the other major plus to this movie is just that the set designs look fantastic.
Yeah.
Like his inside of his
laboratory,
his lab and his garage. There's all these lights going off and things flashing. It doesn't look like it was just haphazardly smashed together. And I don't know all the rules about Troma films, but I know that their production of their films, there is certain rules, I think, about how you're supposed to film it. And I know that some of the exploding bodies in the hooker orgy party are very like poorly built.
Yeah.
And when they blow apart, it's like a mannequin that's blowing apart. And I don't care. It doesn't matter. You've already been given the movie's been given the pass that it's not a high production movie. So when that happens, you're not taken out of it.
No, especially also the like the Spirit Halloween store quality, like limbs. Like the bucket of limbs. It wasn't like that. They didn't do that because of budget.
Yeah,
they did that because that's what the movie is.
Yeah. So, anyways, I thought it was a delight. It was just super fun, super, and every time the next thing happened, it was surprising to me. You know where it's going when he's going to explode the hookers with the super crack. which is a sentence that I never thought I'd say.
Super crack.
But
yeah.
even though you know what's going to happen there, how it unfolds and all the stuff leading up to it, it was surprising. Him laying underneath the row of hookers with their legs open, and he's like measuring their thighs and stuff like that. Very interesting. Ooh, there's a perfect specimen right here. Oh, this one's perfect. And I like how he marks one of the butts.
Yeah,
but then he doesn't
mark
any of the other legs. So when all the he's got a pile of legs. He goes, "Which one's the good ones? Which one's the good ones? This one? Oh, this one doesn't match this one." And it's very sloppy, and I really loved it. So yeah, that's super great recommendation, Andrew.
Yes, thank you, Andrew.
Any specific scenes you guys wanted to talk about?
Yeah, well, there's some lines and stuff. The beginning is pretty insane. When they're talking about the accident happens, when she just screams in front of the lawnmower and doesn't move. She screamed in front of the lawnmower so that guy in the happening could lay down and let it roll over him.
Yeah.
But just one thing, what the news reporter that was reporting on the death, like the grisly death.
Yes.
The writing for her, for what her report that she was giving.
Yeah.
She says, like wood through a mulcher, the girthful bride-to-be disappeared beneath the blades of the berserk mower that sent her personality raining down upon the horrified birthday revelers. In a blaze of blood, bones, and body parts, the vivacious young girl was instantly reduced to a tossed human salad.
That's right.
A salad that police are still trying to gather up. A salad formerly known as Elizabeth.
Yes, that's it. The salad one that was once known as Elizabeth Shelley.
That was really great. I really love the crude environment and how this is like in the very beginning of the movie where it's not the wife, it's like her wife's friend or something.
At the barbecue?
Yeah, at the barbecue. She comes down to the basement and the husband expresses a disgust face. Hey, do you see this? Because this is in regards to the brain that's in the jar.
Oh.
And that woman was just like, "Oh God, what the hell is this?" Or something to that effect. And he has a disgust face and he says, "Do you see this as scientific achievement, lady?"
He's pissed off that she's mad about the brain in the jar.
Do you see what I'm doing here? I'm making evolution right now.
Yeah, that first the first barbecue scene had the vibe of Dead Alive or Little Shop of Horrors, where it's
that's exactly what I wrote down.
it's ultra positive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is ultra positive, and this one character is living in a world that is completely detached from everybody else.
Obviously, Frankenstein is the inspiration for this movie, but I put Dead Alive mixed with Rick Moranis in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, for sure. Good call.
And also mixed with Weird Science.
I felt bad for the father
Nice.
because the father that was his birthday party. I didn't feel bad because the lady died from the lawnmower. I felt bad that he got a lawnmower for his birthday. It's like,
When
we got a surprise for you. It's a lawnmower. It's like, oh, great, thanks.
in these days, if it was a manual push lawnmower he was using before, a power mower is a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what?
And then Jeffrey
That's
puts the motor on it and makes it a death machine.
I know. It's so crazy. That whole barbecue intro to the movie is just so funny. Not slapstick. That's not the right word, but
It's kind of slapsticky.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think that fits.
There's a line, ease up on the pretzels.
Oh, I know.
Like what?
Yeah.
You could really afford to
You
cut
go
down
on
on the
past your
pretzels.
allotment there, like in a Curb Your
Ease
Enthusiasm.
up on the pretzels. It's like, how dare you?
In the news, right after the news scene where she talks about the human salad, tossed human salad.
Tossed human salad.
There's a weatherman that's on screen for just a hot second who's talking about the storm that's coming up in 2 days. There's going to be a thunderstorm that's going to.
Yeah.
And that's where Jeffrey gets the idea. Oh, that's where I want to get my power to rebuild my.
It's like Back to the Future.
Yeah, but that weatherman is played by an actor named John Zachary, who has been basically in film and TV since the Three Stooges days, and he was a classic horror movie, almost like Peter Vincent in Fright Night. He introduces Joe Bob Riggs, and he's the host of the show that gives you these late night horror movies,
Like Elvira.
Well, yeah, like an Elvira or a Crypt Keeper or something like that.
You know what's interesting though is I have never heard of Frankenhooker before, and I tend to
That's really surprising.
Gravitate towards 80s horror movies. No, this is 1990s. That wouldn't apply, but it's still in the same vein of that
Yeah,
kind
it's right
of
on the
movie.
edge.
And I had never heard of it before. and I was kicking myself. I was like,
Stupid.
I was kicking myself. And
See what happens when you expand your viewing taste.
You just got to go from 89 to 90, 1990.
Yeah. Or just stop with the Golden Girls reruns.
I partially agree with.
You'll never see yourself exploded orgy party with super meth.
It's super crack.
Sorry, my bad. My
Super
mistake.
drugs.
It was just abject nonsense with the planning of the body. Like
I thought that was a really good way to show the credits, though. It goes from this inciting incident, and you know the plot of the movie, so you know he's going to rebuild her. And then you see the schematics of the human body with the comically large breasts, almost like fake tits style boobs.
it was just abject nonsense. He's just drawing lines, making no sense at all.
But they did look. They were like electrical diagram. I mean, they had resistance lines, and
they look legitimate.
Yeah, but clearly. In the sense
he says E equals MC squared at one point in his equation.
That's your problem with this movie?
I'm not saying it's a problem, but that's why I was so delighted with this movie, is because it's just nonsense that he's spewing in this in the design of the body.
Another line that I really liked was when his mom is trying to talk to him about, you need to get out there and date again. He goes, I'm working on it, mother. And he says, I'm afraid I'm losing my touch with life. I'm dissociating with life. I've lost the ability to discern right from wrong, Ma. I'm scared.
Yeah.
And she goes, you want a sandwich?
Yeah, do you want Sure, Ma.
Then he breaks out the drill.
Yeah, then he breaks out the drill.
Yeah. Let's see, what else? What other interesting stuff that I have written down here?
I liked his line when he's talking about his plan about acquiring the limbs to create his woman, or to recreate his woman, and like how he's gonna do it, because he goes back and forth and he does the drill thing. Now let me just drill into my own head for some ideas. Let me put my thinking cap on, and because he does it for that, and he also does it to get rid of his like morality.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because he felt he was having guilty thoughts.
He's
about,
like, let me just get rid of that part of my brain
real quick.
That's interesting.
But he says this line where he's like, I'm not gonna kill them. I'm merely gonna place a lethal dose of crack in their presence. I'm not doing anything. They are making their own choices.
I know. I didn't kill that cat. I just poisoned the cat food.
Yeah.
If it chooses to eat the cat food, that's its own fault.
There was also a song that was playing later in the movie that was very low, and there was lyrics that I could barely make out. But the two lyrics that I could get was, safe sex is for losers. Anyone can drive sober.
Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I did hear that. I did hear that. I remember that.
It was like just playing on the idea of do that fucked up shit. Do away with all of your objective morality or your subjective morality, and just do whatever you want. Cause chaos. Break the rules.
I will say that
Patrick Bateman's psyche.
Yeah.
I will say that lobotomy scene came out of nowhere. I was not expecting that at all.
It could have been a lot more graphic too.
Which lobotomy scene?
The first,
With the drill?
Yeah, the very first one. I did not see that coming. So when that happened, I gasped. I was like, oh my God.
I can't believe he's doing that.
The dialogue between the head and Jeffrey is a really convincing way to portray the decent of complete madness. Like, he fits that mad scientist role so well.
Yeah.
And it's not over the top, but it's not underplayed. It's like you said in the beginning of the show, it just fits that right spot, and it just works. It works. I wish this movie got more recognition.
Yeah, the actor who plays Jeffrey, he looks familiar. Like I've seen him in another movie before, but I have not seen anything else that he's been in. So he just has that kind of face.
He's been in some recent stuff too, surprisingly.
Yeah, he's still going. He was in The Irishman as Hoffa Rally Teamster #1. And he's in a movie or show or something from this year too, 2024. But yeah, I have not seen him in anything else, but he looks like I have seen him in something else.
Yeah, he's got a familiar face.
I thought it was funny when he was assembling the Frankenhooker, he would like put this paste on the hand.
Oh, just glue it together like he's doing arts and crafts.
So I wrote down here when I was watching it, just need a little Bondo.
Just a little stickum. It's a little JB Weld, do you?
Yeah, JB Weld. Yeah.
I like the pimp named Zorro.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if he says it or if somebody else says it, but they say because he loses all of his employees,
His bitches.
I was gonna say you can say it.
his workers, and I don't think that he says it, but I think somebody else was like sympathizing with him because they all went missing.
It was the hotel manager, I think.
And
Yeah.
and somebody says when a
or
man
the
loses his
front desk.
hose, when a man loses his hose, he loses everything.
It was the guy at the bar, that creepy weasel guy at the bar.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ.
So I found that song, Joseph. It's called Never Say No. And it's in a compilation called Devil's Music, Supercraft, and Exploding Bitches.
Oh.
The Frankenhooker cover tribute.
Okay.
There's
That sounds like a very compelling album.
Yeah. I liked the part with the guinea pig where he gives the guinea pig the super crack.
Oh, and then it just
literally pops. And the no blood, which is great. I'm happy
Yeah.
there's
like
no
that
blood.
like that thing, like the paper thing where you like pick a number, pick
Oh,
a
yeah.
color.
Oh, yeah.
The hookers find the drugs. She says, super drugs.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, I heard
and then
Super drugs.
the giant orgy drug scene ensues. And Jeffrey says, not the devil's music. That's a bad combination. And
Don't
almost
worry
he
about
didn't-
me. I'm not
maybe that was
racist.
when his morality was changing and he decided maybe they don't want to.
Yeah.
But that montage scene where he's measuring all the hookers is pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I thought was funny was when he was experimenting the super crack on the guinea pig. First of all, I like it that it's a guinea pig. And then second of all, there's no
Tyler hates guinea pigs.
It's not
he couldn't
true.
wait for to see it pop.
No, it's so on the nose that it's funny. And then secondly, I noticed there's no ventilation in that basement. So he's just like I'm surprised
I think he's just in the bedroom. I don't think he's even in the basement.
It is what? No,
Yeah.
it's a basement.
What?
It's a
I think-
basement. Like his lab is in a basement.
No, his lab's in the garage.
It's a
It's a detached garage because there's the scene when he's extending her up into the sky with the lightning bolt and it just goes through the roof of the garage. It's a detached wooden garage.
I swear I saw someone coming down the steps in the beginning of the movie.
Maybe that was at the very beginning of the movie. I think that was at his mother-in-law's house where
Okay.
the barbecue was.
Okay, okay.
Not that it matters, but
it doesn't matter. I just thought it was funny that there was no ventilation for the super crack experiment, and I was hoping that he would be affected by it in some way, but
he was already crazy.
that's true too. I'm pretty sure the fire escape scene where he's running down with the limbs.
Yeah.
There's one leg that looks like the leg from A Christmas Story.
Oh, with the fishnet stocking on it.
Like it looked very deliberate when he was holding it because it
Joseph,
was
you
right.
looking at porn on the computer?
Yeah.
It was.
You guys are boring me.
It's literally just shots from Frankenhooker. This is porn.
But the leg looked deliberate in the shot, so
okay.
I felt like
I
that
mean,
was a
there
little
was
bit
the-
of a wink.
There was the one hooker that was wearing fishnet stockings. So
I know, but it's just like
I
detached
choose to
leg.
believe. I choose to believe that it's a
It's gonna be-
prestigious award.
It's gonna be in my head canon from this point going forward.
Another shot that I thought was just almost genius level funny is when he's building Elizabeth. He's getting ready to build the Frankenhooker, and there's a literal pile of breasts on the table.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that would happen. I don't think that you could just
Think of the smell.
I don't think you could just.
Nice.
I just don't think that you could remove a breast and it hold that same form and it has like a dry back.
Wouldn't it just go flat?
I think
Probably.
you should watch The House that Jack Built then.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I've heard some.
Oh.
I've heard some things about
And
that
then
one.
right after he finds the legs that match and he's getting ready to put her all together, he's talking to the not yet animated Elizabeth, the sewn together corpse that has not yet been animated. He says, I know things won't be the same as they were before, Elizabeth, but maybe it'll be better than before. I don't know. You're like, guy's so delusional.
Why?
Then let's see what else happens. She comes to life. She starts it's the only thing she knows is the things that the people who she's built of have said within the movie.
You want a date?
Yeah, you want a date? Want to hook up?
Yeah.
Want a party? And you're like, yes, that character did say those things, but I'm sure she had 30 years of other things in her rolling around in her head.
That's
she
their
could-
identity. That's who they are.
Only what's happened within the runtime of the movie.
And that memory comes with the memory of legs and arms. and
Yes,
stuff.
of course. Yeah, the arms hold a memory, as we all know.
Our limbs are hard drives.
L. Ron Hubbard would agree.
Going back to the breasts.
Oh, okay.
Henenlotter apparently gave out the fake breasts as parting gifts at the end of the film's production.
Oh, that's so funny.
He signed them.
Oh, that's cool.
And to this, and to this day, my eBay searches for one have come up empty. So no one's sold them yet.
What a real rock star signing breasts.
Who anybody want some breasts?
One line that I thought was really funny too is, I can't remember who said it, but the quote is, "You're talking to me in Swedish in Times Square?"
Yeah.
That was Jeffrey when he's trying to find her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking to me in Swedish in Times Square? Like, what?
He's latching this crazy guy with scrubs on, and just
She's very tall. She's very beautiful. Oh,
Purple.
Speaking of which, her being tall, her shoes were the classic, the 1930s Frankenstein with the big giant platform shoes.
Yeah.
That God, I can't think of the guy's not Bela Lugosi. I can't think of his name now. I'm having a brain fart. Who played the original Frankenstein?
It's
Boris
Karloff. Yeah.
Yeah.
The original Boris Karloff with the big square head and the bolts in his neck or whatever, and the giant platform shoes. To make him
she was
super tall.
wearing those?
She was wearing those same style shoes, except for they were like hooker shoes.
Oh, okay.
They're like platforms, but
Yeah.
with hooker tops on them.
Yeah.
And then another throwback to the original Frankenstein, when Jeffrey is turned into his own female Frankenstein, he's got the female body. His disdain for what has happened to him is manifested when he goes. It's very much a throwback, an homage to the original Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will agree with you, Joseph. I wish Frankenhooker was a little bit earlier in the movie, because him collecting the sex workers
took a little too much time.
It just lulled a little bit.
I disagree. I had the most fun throughout.
Then the movie needs to be longer.
Yes,
I thought
which we rarely will say,
Yeah.
but I think in this case we probably could have spent a little bit more time with her.
Yes, I agree.
There's no elaboration on this trivia here. It just says that this movie took 12 years to make.
No way.
There's no why on it.
12 years? No way.
Probably wrote the idea.
This is like before James Cameron did it.
Yeah.
Frank Henenlotter.
Henenlotter did it.
That's right. Let's see. So she somehow is holding on to millions of volts of electricity or something. So whenever she kisses somebody, they
get
electrify and
they get
explode.
shit.
Lightning. Oh, when she like goes with that older guy and who's like over ecstatic, over
he's
excited,
really excited. And then when he gets blown up, he's still excited for some reason.
Yeah,
He's
he
like,
was just
that
like,
was wonderful.
yeah. He died a happy man.
He died doing what he loved.
Yeah.
Fucking hookers.
Yeah.
The other thing we haven't even talked about is in the lightning storm, he puts her on the classic table, raises her up, pulls the pulley system and opens the roof of his garage, raises her 2 stories up into the sky, and she gets struck like 10 times and comes back down. It changed her clothes, which I thought was great.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
that.
she's all purple. She's got the purple mini skirt, and purple top or whatever, and her performance of when she has that weird twitch and she goes, it was like a Curly from the Three Stooges lip movement.
Yeah,
but
it was
anyways,
really well done.
It was, but what I wanted to bring up was that lightning storm also strikes the freezer full of other body parts, and you're like,
yeah, that's
something's happening.
Then they all just like
when they come out, when Zorro follows them back to the garage, to the lab, and he gets involved, and all the things come out of the pieces have formed together like the shunting from Society.
Yes.
Oh, you're getting these weird creatures with a head and an ass and just 2 legs walking, and you're like, oh my God.
That was disturbing. That was very disturbing. Hilarious, but disturbing.
This was Patty Mullen's first starring role and 3rd role in her career, and it also ended up being her last role for over 2 decades.
Oh, interesting.
And
It
so,
ruined her career.
I don't know about ruined. Maybe she just
I just don't think she was. She was a Penthouse playmate or something like
in the
that.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, in the 80s before the movie. And then she started a movie called Strange Toys, which was listed as being in post-production in 2022. So I don't know.
Weird.
I don't know if that's done anywhere.
It's in limbo.
Yeah.
The shunting I think was probably the most disturbing part of it. The shunting creatures.
The end, the end of the movie was turned into like the shunting mixed with the thing.
Yeah.
Like level of like disgusting fleshy creatures that they just took that guy into the fridge or the freezer or whatever, or that whatever it was, and he's like, I can't get out of here.
Like, that's similar to you get a vampire sucks your blood, right?
Yeah.
Zombies eat your brain.
Yes.
Okay. What does a mummy do to you when it gets to you?
Like in the Mummy, he like steals your life from you.
Yeah, but think about the classic mummies though. What do? They're
Don't
they're
they just
walking.
strangle you?
Is that it? They strangle you?
I thought it was.
I know
just
Frankenstein can club you. He's like a Lenny from Of Mice and Men.
Yeah, I think
Heading a king, like
what
the
can a
strength of
mummy
gorilla.
do?
I think a mummy just strangles you because you're impeding on their territory of.
They're territorial.
Yeah,
I'm not in Egypt.
Yeah,
I think
you're on my turf, you asshole.
I think mummies are just angry.
Now there is like obviously a mummy there is a mummy horror movie like from back in the day, isn't there?
Yeah, in 1954, I think.
And they get to you, and then it goes and then it comes away.
Yeah.
What do they do?
What do they do?
I think they just strangle you.
In the same idea there, what do the pieces of shunting do to that guy? They pull him into the freezer, and that's it. He's in the freezer.
They make their sweet love to.
Oh God.
Ew.
I meant like how I guess if we saw a mummy, a real life mummy, it'd be
Just
like
kick it over.
Like in Scary Movie 2 when they see the skeleton, it's like Cindy, it's a skeleton. It's just bones.
I know. I would just kick it over.
I know. I feel like all three of us would fare very well in a classic horror movie because we would just be like, "What is this?" If anyone had a gun, we would just be like,
I know. I would be the most afraid of a werewolf, to be honest.
"Yeah, okay,
They're the fastest.
A lichen.
Vampire. If I ever got, you can't really plan for vampires.
No,
but
that's true.
if one were to happen, I would just say
Plan for Vampires,
bro.
like weather.
Yeah, I love that indie band, Plan for Vampires. I would ask the vampire that's sucking my blood out of my neck to just turn me. I'd rather just be. I
don't want to die, man.
If you think of all of the Frankenstein monster movies that's ever come out, they're only looking for a friend, or in this case, a trick.
That's a trick,
or no, not a trick. No, a John.
A John, yeah.
I guess that's the whole point of the original Frankenstein, right? Is that he's misunderstood.
Yeah, because he befriends that little girl by the pond while everyone is having pitchforks and torches.
Mm-hmm. It's a real Lenny Green Mile situation.
Yeah, I'd be friends with Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Frankenstein's monster. Why not? I wouldn't be friends with Frankenstein though.
I don't know how he would hang out.
We just sit by the river and
then he pats you on the back and breaks your spinal cord.
I'm like, you monster!
Kill him.
That's like quote one time that says, "When you understand Frankenstein, you tell people that Frankenstein wasn't really the monster." And then once you really understand it, you realize that he was really the monster.
Wait, what?
Because people say it's a Frankenstein. It's Frankenstein's monster. When you correct them and you go, Frankenstein is actually the scientist, and then you go, I guess the scientist really is the monster. So Frankenstein is the monster because he's the one that created. Anyways,
so what is it? So is he nameless then? Frankenstein's monster.
It's Frankenstein's monster. Yeah.
That's just his name.
Yeah. There was a short with David Harbour I watched a couple years back on Amazon Prime called Frankenstein's Monster Frankenstein.
I heard about this.
Yeah, and it's 12 minutes or something like that. It was or 20 minutes. It's pretty fun.
That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
Apparently, Henenlotter improvised the basic story at a pitch meeting and then wrote the script after it got approved.
That is so badass.
He improvised it 12 years prior.
Okay, listen to this. It's like Frankenstein, but she's a hooker.
Yeah. And there's the guy, he's from Jersey, and yeah, he's
an asshole.
Yeah.
And then
he drills his brain.
And the executives are like,
that's good stuff.
That is really
We can sell that.
That's really great, man. That's really great. Here's
$1.5 million.
Oh, I was close. I was gonna say here's $2 million.
Okay, cool. So I think that's anything else you guys wanted to say on it? Or we give it grades?
I think I said everything that I have to say about it. It's a very
No, I don't think so.
All right. Tyler, why don't you give a grade for Frankenhooker?
Yeah, so Frankenhooker, it's a very straightforward movie. You know what you're getting yourself into if you just watch the trailer and stuff like that. It's fun and, like Pete said, pure of heart.
I did not say of heart.
I'm
It's
just,
pure sleaze.
well, okay.
That's what I look at it.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed this movie. I will be trying to find a VHS tape of this film, and I would give this movie a solid A.
Cool.
Solid A.
A from Tyler. Joseph, what do you give Frankenhooker?
Cool. I think I'm probably in the same camp, honestly. For a movie like this of this genre, I think is of the higher tier quality, and it's I think it's worthy of an A. A for enjoyment, entertainment factor.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, overall, I think this is in the same vein as something like John Waters or David Lynch, where they made a movie that's very specific to a style and a taste that they wanted. They executed it fucking perfect, and you're either in or you're out. And I was 100% in on this. That's an A for me as well. 3A.
Triple A.
That's right.
I'm very happy about that.
Ooh. So 3 A's for Frankenhooker. Andrew, good stuff. Great stuff. Dynamite stuff.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the recommendation. It was really fun. So I guess it's time for the Wheel of Destiny.
Yes.
One wheel, 8 slots.
Hey, it's me.
3 hosts.
It's you.
This is the Wheel of Destiny.
All right, Frankenhooker is off the wheel. Oh, yeah! And since that was a Patreon pick, we're going to replace it with another Patreon pick. And this is from listener Dallas, old Dallas.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, I know. Who we are going to do, we're doing trivia with. Like, we would, at this point, we would have already done
the trivia.
We've done the trivia.
Listen to the episode.
It was great. Who won? You'll find out. We already know.
Hey, let's put some blanket generic. Congratulations, Pete.
Yes.
Congratulations, Tyler.
No.
Good job, Joseph.
Thank you.
Okay.
You don't even,
Let's delete the Tyler one.
Yeah, you can delete
we
the
won't
Tyler
need, we won't need
one.
that.
Yeah.
We're going to replace Frankenhooker with Inside Llewyn Davis, Patreon pick from Dallas. And I believe he said it's not necessarily the Coen brothers' best movie, but it's their most overlooked and possibly their most underrated movie. So yeah, I remember watching that and quite enjoying it. And I think, have you guys seen it before?
Nope.
No, I haven't even heard of it before.
Oh, I did talk about it on the show. Because I was calling it Llewellyn Davis because that's the guy's name from No Country for Old Men. Llewellyn.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Another
Llewyn.
Coen brothers movie.
Yeah, it's Llewyn.
What does the N stand for?
All right. We have Inside Llewyn Davis from Dallas, Blackberry from Javier, Hard Ticket to Hawaii from Pete, Rocket Man from Pete, Mr. and Mrs. Smith from Tyler, American History X from Tyler, Eraserhead from Joseph, and Howard the Duck from Joseph. Yeah. We're going to give the wheel a spin, and this is what we're going to watch next week. It's Howard the Duck.
Woo! Howard the Duck.
Yes. So
All right.
finally, we get to check this movie off of my.
One of the I don't know
Watch
if it's
list.
the first Marvel movie, but like
It's one of the earliest
early Marvel movie from the 80s. Start following Howard the Duck.
What do you know about this movie, Tyler? You seem upset about this.
You seem bothered.
I've heard it's a historically bad movie.
Yeah, it is. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I've seen enough.
Rocking a 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb.
How did he even
4.7.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Starring Leah Thompson, Jeffrey Jones, Tim Robbins, and a bunch of people who play Howard the Duck.
Didn't George Lucas was the
a producer.
EP on this
Yeah.
one, right?
I don't think he was an EP. He was a producer.
Directed by Willard Huyck.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. EP Tyler is a executive producer. Money only. No, you don't have any say in it.
Oh, so
Executive
he
is
wasn't?
EP is a money man.
EP stands for
Executive.
Erection Penis.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
But a producer actually is, hey, we're doing this. They're in the creative process.
What I will say about Howard the Duck is
You have to rent it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like your fear for ETP, Howard the Duck is my fear.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a terrifying costume.
Oh, I see.
Brianna also hates humans in like large scale animal costumes. So I don't know if she's gonna watch this with me or not, but it does seem a little jarring, like the animatronic dinosaurs from Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Or the cat in the hat.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if it's that scary. I don't think anything's that scary.
Yeah, that's like next level. But yeah.
Joseph, why Howard the Duck?
I think it's a movie that could be fun to talk about, considering it might just be overall bad, cringy maybe. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I've never seen it before. I know he makes a cameo in like a Guardians movie, I think.
Yeah,
He does?
He's at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 in The Collector. Benicio del Toro's character, The Collector. He's in one of the tubes or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Or he's maybe in the post-credit scene or something like that.
He gets kidnapped.
Yeah, it's collected.
His guts collected.
Cool. All right, so we will watch that next week. And anything else, fellas?
I think that's it.
Okay, so thank you to our cool-ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather Sachs, Ryan, Corbin, and Chris. If you want to join the Patreon, you want to slide in that 5th slot for the cool-ass yard duties, head on over to patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass. And we have multiple tiers. We got anywhere from $2 all the way up to the top tier cool-ass yard duties. And all of you who are supporters now, we sincerely thank you. Thank you, Andrew Martin, for your support and for this movie.
Yes, thank you, Andrew.
Until next time. Thank you for following us as we review Frankenhooker from Frank Henenlotter and Andrew Martin. Follow us on Facebook.com/MCFC podcast and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And yes, follow us at Middle Class Film Class on Instagram and leave us a voicemail, why don't you, at 209-730-6010.
And follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
Thank you to the YouTubers, to the Twitch streamers, and the OGs in podcast land. Check out the YouTube page. There's a lot of fun stuff going on there. See you next time.
See you next time.
See ya.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week. See you later.
See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.